Number 6, Emily Morera. Number 7, Ashley Prue. Number 8, Maddie Miller. Number 9, Anna Peskovitz. Number 10, Captain Morgan Jets Jackson. Number 11, Anna Padejo. Number 12, Kate Mars. Number 13, Faye Hardak. Number 14, Reagan Wentz. Number 15, Allie Ravenel. Number 17, Megan O'Brien. Number 18, Ellie Codejo. Number 19, Peyton Hoffman. Number 20, Lauren Frey. Number 21, Alyssa Castell. Number 22, Captain B. Freeze. Indian Hills is coached by Amy Dunlop, assisted by Dave Lawson, Monica Brown, and Chris Galbraith. And now let's meet the home, Mentor Lake Catholic Cougars. Number 0, Julia Tussell. Number 1, Ella Hadley. Number 2, Anna Barbin. Number 4, Kennedy Reeple. Number 5, Kennedy Newhart. Number 6, Lee Kotheimer. Number 7, Allie Morgan. Number 8, Bryn Morgan. Number 9,
Winter weather has arrived early in Columbus, Ohio. It is in the 30s as we get ready to enjoy the Division II Girls Soccer OHSAA State Championship game here on Spectrum Sports. Hi again, everybody. David Wilson along with John Orozco and all of our Spectrum crew. Welcome back to our coverage of high school soccer. Coming up next, it's the Division II championship game between Indian Hill and Lake Catholic. Let's get right to the bracket and see how these teams arrived here in Columbus. First off, the #1 ranked Indian Hill Braves. They knocked off Big Walnut in shutout fashion, 4-0. And over on the other side of the bracket, Lake Catholic advanced with a 1-0 thriller over Mansfield Madison. Well, John Orozco, let's talk about these teams. We'll start with Lake Catholic, unranked as we go into the state playoffs, but yet they have come on very strong under first-year coach Chris Hastings.
Well, that's a big key. I mean, first-year head coach to come this far with a team. I think, again, getting the players to buy into what he's doing and then getting them to execute exactly what he wants to do. I think it's a great tact and a great approach for their program.
Well, for Indian Hill, unbeaten, John, #1 in the state. And when you talk about turning it on and peaking at the right time, that is exactly what the Braves have done.
And that's what you expect from an Amy Dunlap team as well. So they certainly have been very successful throughout the course of this year and over the years. So this is not a surprise to them, but what a great chance they have to win a state championship tonight.
John, it is chilly today for the state championship game. How will the players cope with that?
Well, you know, we saw in the first game that there were a couple of problems respiratory-wise. I mean, the kids were coming off after having to get out the first 10 minutes, coming off having to breathe a little bit heavier. I think they're going to have to come out, be composed, just be able to fit into the game, and I think they'll be able to do that successfully tonight.
It's Indian Hill and Lake Catholic. Stay with us. We'll get this one started in just a moment here on Spectrum Sports. Welcome back, soccer fans, live at Mopre Stadium in Columbus, Ohio, home of the Crew SC. It's the Division II state championship game between Lake Catholic and Indian Hill. Braves are the #1 team in Division II. They are clad in red. And the Lake Catholic Cougars are in their white uniforms for today's state championship matchup. John Orozco, here we go. Game 2 of this triple header. And there you look at the weather conditions, 32, and it is breezy. And unlike the earlier Division III championship game, John, it's more cloud cover moving overhead. So we had that bright sunshine earlier, provided maybe a little relief, but not as much here for the Division II matchup, at least at the outset. But, boy, looking forward to this matchup. A very emotional Lake Catholic team taking on the Juggernaut.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, but you know, both teams, you see them moving right now. Everyone's constantly moving, trying to make sure they stay warm. With these temperatures, it's going to be tough, but I'm sure coaches are going to really use their bench quite a bit, blend them in, make sure that they stay warm, stay comfortable. I think that's one of the concerns all the time for players out here when you have as much exposure to this kind of cold.
Lake Catholic, 16-3-2, coached by Chris Hastings in his first season. And Indian Hill, 21-0-1, coached by Amy Dunlap in her 23rd year at Indian Hill, 19th as head coach. And away we go today in the Division II state championship.
And right away, as we expected, we're going to see a team try to take control here. Lake Catholic wants to control the tempo, but also wants to be very smart defensively and keep shape and focus on where their biggest target players are, they being the Indian Hills ladies here.
Well, let's talk about some players to watch as we get things going, John. In red, number 11, Anna Potahill. She has had a tremendous season. She has pumped in 37 goals.
And they're looking to make something happen. This is the 2 years, 2003 and 2004. Of course, Potter Hill would like to walk out of here with a state championship because in 2003, 2004, they had runner-up finishes in both those consecutive years. So Potter Hill would love to be able to finish it off, especially with her sister here at her side as well.
Ellie Potahill is a sophomore. She has scored 15 goals, so a family affair for Indian Hill. On the other side, Lake Catholic will look to their top scorer, Kati Druzina. Druzina this year, 23 goals. There's a possible first goal of the game, and it goes to Indian Hill.
Looks like it was Morgan Jackson that made the move and was able to take on the keeper. And you see her shot right there. She was able to come to the ball, was quick to the ball. As we'll see the replay here. A little bit of a flick on, and boy does she use her speed and her pace and just gets around the defender, and just a light little flick to get past that keeper for Lake Catholic.
Morgan Jackson, the senior, her 34th goal of the year. And here's another attacking chance. Jackson trying to catch up to it as it widens out to the right corner.
But I think you're going to see the same mentality as what we saw in that first game where Summit Country Day just felt that their best defense is their offense, and that they just keep pressure on Lake Catholic. The Indian Hill Braves are looking for a chance to walk out of here with a state title.
Kennedy Salamosi is the goalkeeper for Lake Catholic, and she was trying to be aggressive on that play, John, trying to come up and get the ball. And not a big shot by Jackson, just as you said, enough contact to push it back past the charging goalkeeper.
Well, she was quick up her line. I think she anticipated she'd get to that 50-50 ball, but she didn't know the kind of speed that Morgan Jackson had. And here we see it again.
Jackson, beautiful cross. And that time Salamosi able to cover it.
Yeah, nice job. In both cases, Salamosi has done a nice job to get off her line, read the ball quickly, and I think that's a key component for any quality keeper in what we're going to see here tonight.
Lake Catholic in white, playing it down into the Indian Hill zone. 1-0 Braves early. They're the #1 team in the state. And a foul, bring it back the way of the Cougars. That was Anna Potahill, who is trying to turn the corner there. But she is called on the foul. Just underway here in the Division II championship game. David Wilson along with John Orozco. And I think everybody's still buzzing over that early goal by the Braves. They knocked off Big Walnut 4-0 in the state semifinal. Their goalkeeper, who has been outstanding this year, Kate Mars. Mars is a junior with 9 shutouts on the season, including the shutout to get him here.
Well, we saw in that first game for Summit Country Day the quick start, and that's something that Amy Dunlap talked to you about, the significance of giving a quick start, getting that early goal, set the tempo, take control of the game, and that's exactly what her message was to her players, and that's exactly what we're seeing tonight.
Amy Dunlap, she, as you mentioned, John, she has been here at this stage before and trying to win it all for the first time. And 3 trips here to Columbus. Early goal by Morgan Jackson. Lake Catholic getting back defensively. Jackson could not get squared up for a shot.
Interesting that we've seen 2 games so far by coaches that have been state title matchups 3 times through the course of their careers. And the first one, of course, it was Summit Country Day with Mike Fee. They won that this year, of course, winning their third championship.
Salamosi makes the catch with a hard-charging Indian Hill Brave coming in. That was Ellie Potahill. Here's Potahill turning it back upfield for the Braves. Lake Catholic recovers defensively.
A lot of pressure right here, taking that ball to the end line, looking for an opportunity and a good cross. Right, a great job, though, defensively to get off her line. But there was contact. There's going to be a free kick, but not a good sign here.
Now Salamosi shaken up. She's getting up slowly after that contact. She has been busy early, John.
She has, and a great job by Brian Miller to be able to pull back, stop the play there. You're going to see the replay. Quick contact, run to the ball, just kind of inadvertent, the contact there. Brian Miller has another whistle here. He's been pretty active so far. Brian Miller, the official for today's match.
Still in the early going here in the Division II State Championship first half. This one played in by Lake Catholic, kicked in by Gianna Salatino. Indian Hill will take over. It's the best record they've had in program history. 21 victories. They have been tied only once. That was against Archbishop Kettering-Alter.
Well, you saw a couple of hands go up, and a couple of Lake Catholic players anticipated that was going to be handling called, but I don't think it was in that the crew was in position to make that call. But I think it was a great call, no call at least at that point. If you can't see it, you certainly can't call it. The officiating crew for today, the AR1, which is on the bench side, Steve Wenzel. The AR2 on the far side, Adam Becker.
Corner kick for the Braves. Peyton Hoffman sends it in. And headed away by the Cougars, but played back in. Good backline defense. Here's the save by Salamosi. Diving save to her left.
Yeah, big save by Salamosi right there. Not a really good clearance out, and it could have been another goal here if Salamosi doesn't take that near post away.
Earlier, Brendan Morgan, the midfielder, had a very nice defensive stop for Lake Catholic. Cross, Salamosi there again. No trouble keeping warm for her so far on this 32-degree day. And she will punt it away.
Well, I'm sure she has a few layers underneath her garb, but certainly, again, she loves that activity because that keeps her focused in the game. And I think sometimes that can be a factor. If you're the opposing goalie and you're not seeing any action, all of a sudden something happens, and here comes a break. And I think that's something that Coach Hastings wants to see from his team, a quick transition from offense to defense and look for opportunities to convert.
Jackson roaming around. He could not get her the ball. Cougars under Hastings, who is in his first year after moving in from the Baltimore area, where he was a boys soccer coach, or a high school in the Baltimore area. There's Jackson chasing it. Nice move by Jackson, who scored earlier. Beautiful cross. And Ellie Potagil turned away by Salamosi.
Right there on the doorstep, but Salamosi was not going to let that ball get past her. It's a great job on her part again. But you see the pressure. As soon as that happens, Jackson looks for that opportunity, and Potagil just is denied by Salamosi.
Actually was the elder Potagil, Anna Potagil, 37 goals, 17 assists.
It certainly is a great treat, I'm sure, for these girls to have, for both of them to have their sister out on the pitch together, give them a chance to play in a state final. A unique opportunity, something that many players with siblings don't get a chance to have.
Newhart plays it forward for the Cougars of Lake Catholic High School. Now it's Babick. Sit in sharply by Gergich. Great distributor on this Lake Catholic team. Good backline defense by Indian Hill. The Indian Hill motto for the season, their team saying never settle. And Amy Dunlap said, John, when they get 1 goal, they want 2. When they get 2, they want 4.
Well, you can see that's coming to fruition here if it's their choice, because they're certainly putting Lake Catholic under a lot of pressure. They've been relentless and just haven't been satisfied with that 1 goal right now.
Throw in coming here from Maddie Miller. Good deep throw in.
Obviously, Miller is that deep throw specialist. Usually you can determine that, but once you see a player really step back, you know there's going to be a lot of velocity, a lot of an arch placed on that ball. And defenses have to be able to be prepared for that.
Ellie Pottigill with the header. Lake Catholic takes, nope, it'll be Indian Hill taking over. B. Freeze heads it toward Jackson. Cougars operating at midfield. That is Druzina, number 12. The long ponytail.
It's a good job of possession and winning the ball back, and keep pressure here. If you're Lake Catholic, you want to put Indian Hill under pressure and not allow their offense to get any type of a rhythm. We see a foul here, so Indian Hill will get possession.
They got Riepel on the foul, and the Indian Hill Braves will bring it ahead. Our second straight state championship where you have a team from the Cincinnati area against a team from the Northeast Ohio Cleveland area. At Summit Country Day and Kirtland battling in the Division III championship earlier.
Well, in Summit Country Day and this Indian Hills team saw action against each other, in which we're going to see the foul here that occurs. Just a clip from behind.
Yeah, Indian Hill, the only team to knock off the Division III champs.
And again, we talked about the significance in the first matchup of teams playing at a higher level, and how that prepares teams throughout the course of the year, throughout the course of the season, not to play only in your division, but to play a higher level team, and maybe other teams in your outside of your division that are ranked and ranked opponents that certainly help you prepare.
In Lake Catholic knocked off Mansfield-Madison in their state semifinal, 1-0. Very hard-fought game. And let's stay with the Braves.
Well, the Mansfield area is well known for their soccer. Mansfield-Madison, of course, as you just mentioned. Mansfield Christian, who's made their way down here a couple of times as well. So some quality soccer in that Northwest Ohio area.
Well, that game won by Lake Catholic was not decided, John, until about 3 minutes to go, when Ella Hadley assisted Druzina for the game's only score. Maddie Miller will throw it in for Indian Hill. There you see her, number 8.
Well, I think if you're Coach Hastings right now, you have to be pretty happy with how your team has settled in. Now the key is, can you give yourself a chance to get a goal and just keep composed defensively and organized?
That's Ellie Pottigill, and it goes out wide, and Talamosi will take care of the upcoming kick. First sub of the afternoon, Ashley Prue comes in. She is a sophomore, outside mid.
Number 22.
B. Freeze gets a breather. Ashley Prue, number 7.
certainly
midfield.
like the way that both these teams are utilizing the width, and we see a run off the flank here for Lake Catholic.
And Druzina centering pass and turned away by Indian Hill.
I like the way Druzina made that pace, played with great pace right there and composure, tried to get a ball centered in that second six with a good opportunity.
John, very important here early to try to exercise some patience and see what the defense is giving you, right?
Oh, it certainly is. And here's another good opportunity of centering the ball, looking for your teammate, and that's exactly what Lake Catholic has done.
Poked toward the goal by Keika Babic, number 9, who has 12 goals on the season. Didn't get a whole lot on it, but did manage to poke it through 2 defenders. And Kate Mars sends it back toward midfield. Here's Druzina. Druzina looking for an opening and found one. Turned away by Mars. And that should be a corner for Lake Catholic. Great kick.
It's going to be a...
Babic with a good effort there, John.
I think it's going to be a throw-in here. It's a deep throw-in. It looked as if it might have gone over the byline, but from our vantage point, the AR on the far end, Adam Becker, didn't signal the flag, so now we'll see a goal kick.
Well, that was the first real good scoring opportunity for Lake Catholic, and it all started by that young lady there, Druzina, with that great pass.
Well, it's the second time we've seen Druzina push that ball up this left side and really put this Indian Hill Braves defense under some pressure. So the question is, again, can they continue to do that? And will Indian Hills crack under that pressure?
Druzina will continue on her college soccer career at the University of Notre Dame. Morgan Jackson, those neon green shoes. Indian Hill with a 1-0 lead. 22 minutes. And just a little bit of change left in the opening half.
Grace Moore coming in for, well, check that. She wasn't allowed to come in. I thought he had signaled her to come in.
Indian Hill substitution. Number 22, B. Freeze, replacing number 1, Margot David.
So Margot David gets a breather for Indian Hill. Freeze comes back in.
Substitution. Number 14, Grace Moore, replacing number 6, Lee Kotenheimer.
Indian Hill with the throw-in. Maddie Miller, the sophomore defender. Lake Catholic, after giving up that early goal, John, they're playing with a little bit of defensive energy right now.
They certainly are, and then in turn they've been able to get into transition and put some pressure on the Braves as well. So they really have rebounded from that early goal.
They have not yet found the equalizer. Look at that. Rebound shot caught. Salamosi, fortunately for the Cougars, not screened on that.
Yeah, you see the defender here just kind of scuff on that ball and not able to clear that ball as easily as she thought. Kennedy Repo was not able to get it out, and boy, that nearly cost him, but Salamosi just ready for that, jumped on it and was able to pick it up nicely.
Anna Pottigill with the shot, and it was right on target. Salamosi has really been busy today, and really they haven't gotten anything past her, John, other than that 50-50 ball that she was going for and Jackson was going for, and sort of squirted out from both of them and into the goal. So a 1-zip Braves lead, but they will take it.
Grace Moore subbing in for Mentor Lake Catholic. Nice job of controlling the sideline here. You got the fourth official who helps to control the substitution pattern. Also allows the announcer to be able to get the player in. A little different than what the players normally have in their game sites, even during the tournament. Normally, there won't be the rigidity of substitutions being held, other than that they have to be there early, but they always want to give in this case, the announcer a chance to know who to check in, let them know who's coming in to make sure that they know the substitution. So if players are not used to that pattern, which normally they're not, it'll take a little bit of work to get used to that.
Nearly a pile up. Bryn Worthland comes out of there with it. She has scored 4 goals on the year. Worthland, a junior, number 2 in red. They center a pass intended for Babic, taken away. Maddie Check plays it in. Salamosi slides down to cover that one. Salamosi had 3 saves in a shootout against Gilmore. She is a Gannon recruit. Played Division II soccer in Erie, PA.
Nice job by Jackson to try to find Padajo at the 18, and she tried to flicker on and unable to do so. So now there's another goal kick here for Salamosi and the Manor Lake Catholic team here.
As Chris Hastings said when talking about Salamosi, she's not the tallest goalkeeper you will see, but if it is on the ground, she is usually able to stop it. Dives well to both sides, and we've already seen that in action today. 1-0 Braves are the #1 team in the state. The Division II state championship game here at Mapfre Stadium in Columbus on a very cold day, right at the freezing mark to start this championship match. A lot of shadows creeping across the pitch here at Mapfre, as you can see on your screen. Sun is back out in spots.
Unfortunately, we know that the press box, all the fans on this side of the field are not in that sun that we see at the opposite end of the field.
It looks warm over there on the other side, John.
It looks really nice.
Morgan Jackson the takeaway. B. Freeze.
But Jackson does a solid job of being able to hold that ball, looking for opportunities for her teammates to come through and make a run. But boy, she does a nice job in that position.
Kate Mars secures it. Mars in her first year as a goalkeeper, former field player, and really has blossomed into one of the top goalkeepers in Southwest Ohio. Perfect size and mentality. We are very happy with the job she has done, and why not? 9 shutouts. Only has allowed a total of 14 goals the entire season. Margot David back in for Indian Hill.
Substitute for Indian Hill, #1, Margot David.
She's coming in for the player furthest away from her, about to do the throw-in over there. And I believe that's Ashley Prue coming back out. An early goal for Indian Hill.
Well, we'll see if this is going to be a long throw or not, as she'll step back. She doesn't, so it's going to be something closer to her, but nevertheless, another throw in here for Lake Catholic.
Another throw-in opportunity. .21 to go. We're in the first half. Looking for Jackson. Cougars jump the route, and they knock it away.
Well, this is the key right here. This quick transition is what Coach Hastings wants to see from his players. And Regina, of course, is the catalyst from where it's going to start.
She's trying to get around Claire DeHamel, and good defense by DeHamel. It's going to be a corner for Lake Catholic. Bounced off her right at the last second, John, but she did a nice job walling off. Drzina was unable to get that cross away.
And for my count, this is the first corner for Lake Catholic.
That's Drzina to kick it. We'll go right back to Cotty. And that sails through untouched. Boy, how it bounces through that many bodies and doesn't touch anybody. But that's what happened. And Indian Hill will take over. It was an interesting corner strategy. Didn't really kick it from the corner, but got it right back and came upfield a little bit, John. Maybe had a little better angle that she likes, and she served it right across there, but nobody touched it.
Well, again, that's sometimes the approach you have, but set pieces, we've talked before, you and I have, about the importance of set pieces and executing them with an idea that you want to get a chance to make the keeper make a save, make them react to something you're doing.
Senior Morgan Jackson's goal has been the only score so far. Right in front, maybe an opportunity. Snuffed out by Mars.
Yeah, and Mars read that exceptionally well. She understood where that ball was going to be played. A little surprised to see the space that we're seeing given by the defense here from Indian Hills right now.
Salamosi will come out. Twelve and a half minutes to go, first half. Scoring opportunities have been sparse. Drzina will not be able to outrun two Braves for that one. Claire DeHamel beat her. DeHamel is a good defender, 3-year starter. See this shot just a moment ago by Gergich.
Yeah, Juliana Gergich read that ball and it come across her body with a great job. Many times the players will touch that ball early. We're going to see Drzina, check that. Babic with the pressure right here on the Braves defense. A little bit of a stoppage and we'll see a substitution.
Andrea Babic. She's going to come out. Allie Morgan comes in. That one right in on Mars. Kate Mars. Out to midfield. Trailing on the play, Indian Hill. Here's Anna Potagil. Number 11 plays it ahead to Jackson. It's a lethal combination. Jackson the shot. Salamosi the save.
And you saw the numbers there, Dave, getting back behind the ball. As soon as they saw that ball get played into the attacking third, boy, the numbers tracked back quickly for Lake Catholic. And a great job by Salamosi.
Jackson is a 4-time All-League player at Indian Hill. Cincinnati Hills League. They get to Hamill on a foul.
So we're going to see another set piece opportunity here for Lake Catholic.
Almost 30 minutes gone by.
See if the Cougars can set something up. They're looking for the far post.
You can see Mars directing traffic there, John. A little bit of a bend to it. Mars able to handle it. Both coaches, really, you talk to any coach, and they will tell you, John, big part of being a successful goalkeeper is communication with your defensive line.
No, you're absolutely right. She has to take control. Mars knows she's in control of what's happening in the box. The other part of that is that central defender, making sure that they have everyone marked, assisting Mars throughout the process to make sure that there isn't anyone left that is going to be a threat to them, and then controlling what's going to happen. She did a great job in that case, Mars, reading it to the near post, came, and I like the way she tight-roped that line and was able to keep the ball in play. Even though she was nearly out, it was a hold of the ball that has to go out before any call can be made.
Druzina, spin move, just wide.
Another good opportunity, and Druzina just keeps making things happen for these Lake Catholic Cougars.
Ella Hadley is coming in for Lake Catholic, as well as Andrea Babick. But just back to finish that thought on the goalkeepers, I believe it was Amy Dunlap saying, look, you may see a keeper that doesn't have a extraordinarily high number of saves, but that could be because they are so good at directing and positioning the defensive players that it limits the number of shots that she even has to save.
Yeah, that's why it's so important for them to be vocal. You tell young keepers, and here's a quick rush out by Potagil.
See what she can do here. She'll unload, and it's a little wide right.
Takes a shot from about 24 yards out, but you see a keeper that certainly, you tell young keepers, you have to be vocal, you have to command the box, you have to make sure your defense knows what's happening. You're the quarterback. You can see the whole field of play. You can see everything that's going to be developing behind you, behind your defense. So it is crucial that you're the focus and you're talking to those defenders and making them understand that they have to react and defend as you need them to defend if you want to keep a game scoreless, if you will.
Potagil. She'll have a good look. There it goes with the left foot. And it's a goal for the Indian Hill Braves. They make it 2-0. Anna Potagil. 38th goal of the year.
And that was all Anna Potagil right there. She brings that ball, cuts it behind the defender, gets that touch to her left foot, and then finds that panel, that far left corner, nearly the panel. I thought it was going to hit the corner, but it didn't. But does a great job of finding her target, puts it on frame, and what does she do? But does what she's done 37 times before.
Lake Catholic will try and answer. Now down 2 scores. And we are approaching halftime, just 7 minutes left in half number 1. Jackson and Potagil. 2-zip Braves, the number 1 team in the state. And their top 2 scorers have answered the call here, John, in the biggest game of the year, the state championship game. We've combined now for over 70 goals, Jackson and Potagil. She's hustling, but Anna cannot get to it.
Well, she looked like she might have tweaked her ankle there on that shot. When she cut the ball over after she released it, she might have twisted it. A little concerned by Amy Dunlap, the coach for the Braves, and I noticed that Anna kind of waved her off and said, I'll be fine. Give me a second tomorrow. She nearly picked that ball up again. She'll try to work her way out of it and not have to come out in the last 6 minutes.
Indian Hill's defense has not allowed much. A couple of decent looks for Lake Catholic, nothing more. Both of those turned away by Kate Mars. Poked away, Salamosi.
Yeah, great read by Salamosi. She certainly can see that ball coming from distance. We'll see another shot at it here. Great opportunity by who I think was Margot David, I believe.
Corner coming up for Indian Hill.
Corner kick for the Braves.
5:22 to go and counting here in the first half of play. We're at Mapfre Stadium in Columbus. That one hits the side. So nothing doing that time for the Braves. Division II state championship up for grabs. And the Indian Hill Braves with a 2-0 lead. Amy Dunlap saying the chemistry on the team this year has been fantastic. They are a very offensive-minded group trying to get numbers going forward. Jackson kicked away.
Offensive minded, I'd say yes, and also defensive minded. You saw Freeze there be able to step in as the ball was going to be cleared out by a Lake Catholic defender, keep the ball in play, and nearly kept possession. But now we'll see a goal kick being taken by Lake Catholic and Salamasi.
Julie Maruzic playing some good tight defense on Morgan Jackson.
Lake Catholic substitution.
Chris Hastings, as we mentioned,
Number 9.
has come in his first year and put his program into place. And he has been very pleased with the way they bought into the system.
Juliana Jurgen.
I asked him how it goes for a first-year coach when you come in and you're brand new. And in fact, Chris was even just new to the area. And I said, how do you put that all into motion? And he said, when you come in and the players can see that you care about them, that you are interested in their benefit as players and as students, that it's easy to win them over, and then they trust what you're trying to do schematically from a soccer standpoint.
Well, I think, again, you buy into the community, you buy into the program, you buy into the school, and I'm sure that's all been a big part of it. You know, it doesn't hurt to have some players. Drzina, Babic, he has some great players out there as well, but you've got to be able to get them on the same page, and sometimes it has to be you converting to their page, but also them converting to what your page is as a head coach. And they certainly have done that this year, to his credit and to their credit.
A defensive recovery by Salatino. Well, and Chris said, hey, one of my main things is that soccer is supposed to be fun. And I loved his line. He said, soccer is meant to be fun 90% of the time. It's a good time. He said there's always that little 10% where you got to get on players or you have to be serious, but he said it's supposed to be a fun game. He wants his players to be out there enjoying playing this game.
Well, it's players like these that certainly understand what that is. And, we always talk to players as coaches about the importance of self-discipline, recognizing when is it time to work, when is it time to have a good time, and how do you regulate that? And I think both of these coaching staffs and what we've seen today certainly understand how to do that.
Newhart tried to put it in front, blocked away by Indian Hill, and here they come. B. Freeze. Broken up. And again, that's Maruzic, number 18, doing a good job on Jackson. Running right into the double team. So we have 1:25 to go. Svelbar, a senior, will come in. Hannah Svelbar, senior defender.
Yeah, we see Drzina checking back in again after she had a well-deserved break.
Just 1 minute left in the half, John. A 2-0 Indian Hill lead. Jackson and Potajo Golds. Okay, Mars will hold it up. Only a 10-minute break coming up. 40-minute halves in high school soccer. If we're tied at the end of regulation, 2 overtime periods if necessary. Sudden death, or as some people like, sudden victory. And if tied after 2 overtime periods, it is a penalty kick shootout. 20 seconds left. First half here at Mapfre. One final throw in for Indian Hill.
In the first half. 10, 9, 8.
B. Freeze in the corner.
6, 5, 4, 3.
And that'll do it for the first half. Well, John, a lucky break early for Indian Hill, and then a very nifty goal. Gives them a 2-0 advantage after the first 40 minutes. They have to be very pleased.
Well, the pressure, again, that we anticipated from Indian Hills is what we've seen, and that's been the difference in the game right now. But I'll tell you what, Lake Catholic is going to go in and get organized, and they will come back with that same vigor that we've seen here in the last 30 minutes.
It's halftime here at Mapfre Stadium. There's the first goal. And coming up here, Anna Potagil in the back corner. Indian Hill by 2.
spring of 2020 with a bachelor's degree in education.
Here we are at halftime at Mapfre Stadium, home of the Columbus Crew SC and the home of the OHSAA Girls Soccer Championships. Indian Hill, the #1 team in Division II. They lead it 2-0 over the Lake Catholic Cougars. And they got the scoring started early as Morgan Jackson followed up on a ball coming toward Salamosi. Goalkeeper came after it. Jackson got to it with enough force to knock it in.
Well, a great job by Margot David right there, but the pressure just continues to come on, and boy, Salamosi really had to step up to keep it a 1-0 game. And then here's a great opportunity, the only real big opportunity that they had if you're Lake Catholic, correction. But then here was a clincher right here by Potajo, where she didn't hesitate. She brought the ball back. The only difference was she gave it a little twist to her, tweaked her ankle, but boy, she did finish that second half, those last 7.5 minutes, without any real problems. Let's look at these stats. And you can see, boy, the domination that we've seen so far, 8-3 on shots, 7-2 on shots on goal. But even though you're seeing only a couple corners, I'm surprised that Indian Hill hasn't been able to put Lake Catholic under a little more pressure. But I think the difference is going to be, can Lake Catholic get some set pieces and maybe capitalize on an opportunity like that?
Well, we saw that shot, John, by Anna Potagil, and collided there with Gianna Salatino of Lake Catholic right at the last second. Didn't seem to bother her momentarily, but later on she was chasing a couple balls down, seemed to be all right.
Yeah, and I think that's the key is, again, you just didn't want to, I think she didn't want to come off at that point, get too cold, and it was cold enough as it was, and then cool down and give herself a chance to have a break. And if she was going to get a 10-minute break, let's get the 10 minutes in the locker room where it's going to be a little warmer. I can stretch it out some more and then come out and make a difference in the second half, which is what her plan is, I'm sure.
Potagil is going to be playing college soccer at the University of Arkansas. She was a freshman on Indian Hill's last Final Four team. She's a tremendous track and field athlete. She's been a very successful club soccer player as well. She has a goal to go along with Jackson's, and we're underway here in the second half of the D2 championship game. We'll see what the Cougars can do. Easy to see after 40 minutes, John, why Indian Hill is the #1 team in the state.
Well, certainly you can, and no doubt about what they're trying to emphasize today. We're going to be the #1 team in the state, and at the end of the season, the #1 team left standing as well.
Mars, the goalkeeper for Indian Hill, in the neon green top. Indian Hill in red. Lake Catholic from the great city of Mentor, Ohio, right on Lake Erie, east suburbs of Cleveland. That's Lauren Fry, number 20, battling for the ball in red. Taken away by Keika Babic.
And Babic just was not going to be denied. She wanted to have that ball back and just put the pressure on the Braves here. So here she is again. She's going to look for an opportunity.
This is Babic trying to give it off to Gergich. Now Jackson swoops in.
I like the way Jackson worked her way back into the defending third, just to make sure to help relieve that pressure from her teammates, get that ball out. But right now we're seeing some sustained pressure by Lake Catholic.
Throw in for Lauren Fry, only freshman starter on the varsity for Amy Dunlap. Blocked away nicely. It's Marusic, called her name a lot defensively in the first half. Margot David throws it in. Indian Hill, they have dominated opponents throughout the postseason. They shut out Big Walnut 4-0 on Tuesday night in the state semifinal. 32 goals now in the state playoffs.
Well, you mentioned, I think, a difference of 30-4 at one point in the tournament, and that's just remarkable to hear a team that's able to do that. But at this point in the season, you want that kind of control in the game. On the other hand, you look at a Lake Catholic team that's had to win games close to the vest, and they're in one right now. Their hope is right now, let's get one, let's tighten it up a little bit and see if we can get one through here.
Here's a chance. Potagil. Walled off at the last second. Salamosi able to corral it in.
Well, nice job by the defense there not to let Potagil turn the corner there and get off of that end line and create any more pressure than necessary, and Salamosi right there on the spot to be able to pick that ball up easily.
Lake Catholic had a 13-0 laugher in the opening game of their tournament run, but since then, John, 1-0 over Hawken, 4-2 over Gilmore, 2-0 over Cuyahoga Valley Christian, and then 2-0 against Canfield before a 1-0 win against Mansfield Madison. So they have been embroiled in some very close games to get here.
And they have one more here tonight, and certainly they look, again, as I mentioned, look for opportunities, and here they come again, trying to put some pressure on these Braves.
This is Drzina. Quickly double teamed and helped out there defensively by Claire DeHamel after Maddie Check was trying to keep Drzina in front of her. Almost 5 minutes gone by second half. It is a 2-0 Braves lead. Goals by Jackson and Anna Potagil. This is Bryn Morgan, defensive midfielder, number 8 in white. Throw in for Lake Catholic. Lake Catholic, well known as a football school, a lot of success in that sport over the years.
And we've seen some of these teams like Kirtland earlier that have teams that have been.
Mars drops it, and the defense swoops in behind her after she tried the diving stop, and it got away from her.
Yeah, great non-goalie save. We'll try to pick that number up again.
When they came in waves, John, 3 red jerseys got behind. Right here, it pops away.
And Lauren Fry takes it off just before it just clears that ball out. But a great job defensively to stay organized, because, boy, right there on the spot, if she wouldn't have gotten through, would have been a goal, and boy, would have tightened it up a little bit here for Lake Catholic. Again, the pressure they're putting on right now is consistent.
And Leah Kotheimer was chopping at the bent to get in there. 2-0 Indian Hill. Their lead is safe at the moment.
Very reminiscent of the goal that, if that would have gone in, very reminiscent of the goal that Jackson scored in the opener in the first minute or first couple minutes. It would have been the same kind of result. You know, we always tell players, Dave, just try to put something on the ball. Just try to put it in frame, put it in front of the goal, and see if something happens. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can create that scenario later on your own, what it looked like and what it was like. Here's an opportunity again.
As Salamosi grabs it with 2 gloved hands before Potagil could get involved. Well, it all boils down, John, to you've got to make people make plays, right?
Exactly. You know, but a nice job there on that cross by Jackson, trying to get in, trying to find her teammate. Potagil just trying to find a way to get her connected and get her another goal for the year.
Lake Catholic finds themselves down 2-0. Drzina, little touch pass, and here they go. Trying to break through, they do. Shot, saved by Mars.
Boy, Mars is really being tested right now, and there's a lot of gaps, a lot of opportunities making themselves available because of the pressure we're seeing. Nice little touch, cut back in.
This is Babick.
And Babick, boy, she wants to have that one back, I'm sure.
Well, they have not put a goal on the board, John, but you can feel kind of the momentum shifting a little bit toward Lake Catholic. They are the aggressors right now in these early moments of the second half.
Well, we said that just before the intermission. I think you want to get yourself at the intermission, get yourself into the half, come back with a renewed vigor, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. Now the question is defensively, got to keep yourself organized and not give something up to what we know is this potent offense for the Indian Hill Braves. We'll see a throw in here.
Corners have been very sparse. This one thrown into Jackson. Lake Catholic will play it out. Looked alive by Maddie Miller. A race to the touchline, saved over there by Margot David, 2-year junior starter. She wears number 1. In fact, if it weren't for David, they may not be here. She had a crucial penalty kick in overtime against Waynesville to help keep Indian Hill alive in the district final. Well, it's amazing when you get this far, John. You look back during a tournament run and you find plays where, boy, if not for a certain goal or if not for a certain defensive play, you might have been knocked out of the tournament early.
Yeah, and I think there's even there's times that during the course of the season when that happens. I mean, I had a conversation with the coach. We'll see this run out here.
It's Jackson. 1-on-1. Salamosi the save.
Boy, she picked that corner. She knew exactly where she wanted to go. But Salamosi equal to stand right tall. She stood strong, read it. Great job. But I had a coach from Mansfield Christian, of course, telling me during the course of the season they were ahead. They were ahead. I think something like 3-0, and all of a sudden they end up winning the game. But it was at that point they realized we've got to play differently. We're ahead, but we're not playing like a team. And so there are some defining moments in a team season, and I think that's certainly what begins to happen for teams.
Maddie Miller, the big kick. Lake Catholic will throw it in. Now they have had some pressure on Kate Marsh. She has been unyielding so far in goal for Indian Hill. And we have 28.5 minutes to go in regulation. And the Braves have a 2-0 lead.
And that 2-0 lead, I tell you what, Mars has done an outstanding job to keep it 2-0 because there have been at least 2 opportunities here in this second half where Lake Catholic has had some perfect opportunities to draw within 1, and then in turn on the other end, Salamosi's done a great job in goal because then, you know, we could have seen another goal here for Jackson here in the last minute and a half. And she had a good break and a good opportunity.
Lauren Fry plays it out to David. Margot David quickly bumped off the ball. It's taken away by Keika Babick of Lake Catholic.
In that first game, you were talking about work rate, and I'll tell you what, I've been impressed by the work rate of Babick, Jackson, just so many of these players, just how hard they work, and they continue to work throughout the course of the game.
This is a much wider field than they play on for the majority of their high school games, if not all.
You think about a lot of the high school games, and we, again, have talked about this before, high school fields many times are as close to the dimensions of a football field, and we know how narrow they can be. And, you know, unless you have a soccer-specific field, you don't know, you're not going to be accustomed to playing in this kind of width.
Jerzina. She's been quiet in the second half. But here she goes. She keeps the play alive. Nicely done. Two Lake Catholic players go down. But all that looked like pretty clean play, John.
Yeah, I think so. But a whistle goes here as we see Brian Miller signaling a call right here at the half line.
It was on Riepel, number 4. DeHamel will throw it, will kick it.
There's foul. There's a contact again. Everybody was shouting at that point. But again, I think it was pretty physical play, but not anything that. But this was certainly an opportunity that was denied. So that's where the whistle had to be called. If you're Brian Miller.
Salamosi charges that one. You can always go for the ball with your feet, John, right?
Definitely. It's just a question is, the difference is, again, if you can't do it from behind the play, you have to have an opportunity. Here's a good
Jackson.
run out.
Look at that speed. Almost kicked in by a Lake Catholic defender, but they got to it. Jackson was taken down, so let's see what we have coming up. It might be a penalty kick. Let's see.
That's going to be a corner, so we'll come right back. I think they felt they got enough of the ball at that point.
Kennedy Riepel stopped Jackson.
There's a stoppage in play. He's trying to bring the player back over to the other side. So Brian Miller stops the play because he doesn't want it to be interpreted as a delay of game here. Once they get the ball set in the right position, the ball did go out this end line.
Here's the corner. Oh, they tried the header. Fry with a nice pass. Jackson could not quite redirect it.
Yeah, that was a nice piece of game management by Brian Miller to be able to stop the play, make sure we're going to take this kick from the correct side. We're not going to allow you to take the ball all the way to the opposite side to take a corner kick. And I think, if I'm correct, that's the third corner kick for Indian Hills.
Still 2-0. You're not quite yet to the halfway point of the second half. 24 minutes left in regulation in the Division II state championship game. Second of our triple header today on Spectrum Sports and myspectrumsports.com. We thank you for joining us for high school championship coverage. State volleyball coming up on Saturday. All 4 of those games covered on Spectrum Sports. And of course, all kinds of high school football coverage, including the state championships coming up at the end of the month and 1st of December. Boys soccer as well on Saturday. All those games covered by our great Spectrum crew.
And I think when we were in the press box, you were telling me that the Lake Catholic team is still alive in the tournament. Kirtland is still alive, which we've seen in the tournament. So we may see some of these football teams playing in a final like we see the girls tonight.
Very possible. Great time of year for all these fall sports. Getting right down to the brass tacks in the state championship rounds.
Well, it certainly keeps the staff from Ohio High School busy. Jerry Snodgrass, of course, here with us. And
boy, and they do such a great job with these events, John. Just such a great job staging all this for the benefit of the student athletes.
Well, Don Munns, who takes care of the management of the officials and keeps us posted on who's on the games, and boy, they all do a nice job to make this experience the best experience possible for these athletes and these coaches and these fans as well.
The kick by Salamosi. Jackson could not corral it.
Replacing number 19,
Pottigill. A swift kick, but it is deflected away. So Indian Hill will throw it in. Margot David.
Margot David, who got the assist on the Jackson goal to start the game tonight.
Right along the touch line, and it stays in. Well, that tells you about this great playing surface here at Crew Stadium. Ball rolling straight as an arrow.
Well, the difference in this surface, again, to many football surfaces on the football field, you're going to find a crown field, and you're not going to find it here.
Margot David, you mentioned her as a 2-year starter. How about David, along with the Pottigill sisters, Anna and Ellie, as an 800-meter relay team? Placed 13th in the state in last spring's state meet.
Well, back to what we talked about the versatile athletes that we have in many of these schools, and the versatility they have to show, the reason they're so well conditioned. They go from one sport to the other. Their training staffs must do excellent jobs to keep them in shape and injury-free, so kudos to them for that as well.
Lake Catholic maybe, but Indian Hill, look at that, 4 defenders back. All got in position very quickly. A very well-schooled defensive team. Indian Hill under Amy Dunlap. The substitution for Lake Catholic is Colleen Geiger comes in. Geiger, senior, battling back from a broken ankle in the spring and was extremely upset about the possibility of missing the state playoff run, but she's going to be in, at least briefly, here on the pitch here at Crew Stadium in the state championship. She wears number 17 in white.
Well, and I think, again, we haven't, we saw that in the first game where we had a player that was out injured, thought maybe she wasn't going to come back in and play with a torn meniscus, and yet they come out. They're not going to be denied. If they get a chance to play in a venue like this and an event like this, they certainly want their coaches to believe in them, give them a chance to get on the pitch and perform, and credit to the coaches to allow them to do it.
Peru. A collision there with Kennedy Riepel. Indian Hill will lose it as Lake Catholic will throw it in. It's Kaufheimer to throw it in. A little push from behind, and they caught her. That was Drzina.
Yeah, that was pretty obvious. Drzina reached out. I think her hesitation to move back into the play and check back to the ball was why she didn't receive it. Realized she wasn't going to get it, so she decided, I'm going to have to make contact here. Yep. Clear-cut call. And DeHamel comes down. She drops DeHamel right in her spot.
Ripped away by Ellie Pottigill, number 18.
Of course, Ellie Pottigill being called for the foul on Babick, though.
Pottigill just a sophomore. Wait, look at these teams, and obviously they depend on senior leadership and upperclassmen, but got so many young freshmen and sophomores make an impact in these championship games. Not unusual at all. See players come back here for multiple years in their career.
Well, again, some of these teams have been here, as you said, year after year, but they have a legacy and they have a foundation that they're going to shot opportunity. It's going to be pushed aside. Yeah. Jackson with another good opportunity, but Salamasi denies it. We'll see another corner kick here for Indian Hills.
Yeah, you'll see Jackson here. Look at this. She had a good look, John.
Yeah, great job. A ball that was laid off on the outside, from the outside of their foot. I didn't pick up who was that played that ball, but an outstanding opportunity to read that Jackson was going to be open.
Jackson loves that lower right corner.
She does.
Here comes the corner. Couple of headers by the Cougars. They'll try it again. Jackson deflects it wide. Jackson scored early. Anna Pottigill added a second goal in the first half. There has been no scoring in half number 2. We have 16:20 to go. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate all of the hard work by our Spectrum crew today in tough conditions. 30 degrees here in Columbus as the cold weather has enveloped all of the Great Lakes region. And some snow up in the Cleveland area today.
Well, I was driving in today talking to one of my friends, and I said, usually you get down to Columbus, it's 10 degrees warmer than the Toledo area. I'm here to tell you it's not. It's as cold as it is in Toledo right now. Yeah, and you said Cleveland, there's snow.
Very consistent. We're all in the same boat. Here's Jackson, a little give and go. Nice pass. Broken up by the Cougars. Druzina. We would love to see her make a play or two here and see if they can get the Cougars back in it. Knocked down by Bryn Morgan. She's taken down by DeHamel.
Now there's going to be a booking. I'm pretty sure here there's a stoppage in the play. If not a booking, there's going to be a discussion here with DeHamel.
Yeah, pulled her down, pulled her on the left arm.
There you go. Again, good game management. There's no need for a booking, but just a stoppage to make sure the ball can get back in possession. Not to waste time at all.
At the foul on Ella Hadley. Hadley, a great distributor. And that assist in the regional semi, the game winner in the final. Chris Hastings calls her the super sub. Jackson.
Jackson from about 23 yards, 24 yards out, trying to surprise Salamasi. See if she can catch her.
Morgan Jackson, the daughter of former NFL player Tom Jackson, and her sister Taylor Jackson was a member of 2 Final Four teams at Indian Hill and played for the University of Cincinnati. And Morgan following in those footsteps. She's a 2-time All-State player and has already scored a goal in today's championship game.
Well, that's the thing about games like these and these state finals. Many times you'll see all-state players. Of course, this year's group will be announced tomorrow after the kickoff of the last boys game. But you'll see many of those types of players here performing that have been previous all-state players.
Come on, John.
All-Americans down the road and so forth.
John, why do we have to wait until tomorrow night? Go ahead. Let's break some news here. Yeah. I know you want to say it.
Sure.
I know you want to give those teams out.
Fortunately for me, I never have access to much of that, so it's probably a good thing that I don't have access to it.
You might spill the beans, right?
Yeah, I'd be very easily convinced to spill the beans if it was up to me. But certainly we want to make sure that it's not a distraction to the players when those things are announced, and I think it's a good call by the OSSCA board. John Johnson, president of that group, and it's always good to see a lot of those gentlemen here. And Mike Fees, we talked earlier, is on the board of our association. Bill Meese, I saw him down here from Indian Hill, also secretary of our association. So, but yeah, it's always good to see those men and women that are in our program or our association and how involved and committed they are. So thank them for everything they do for the coaches, over 1,100 coaches in our association.
Indian Hill with Jackson. They try to get it away from her, and that's not an easy thing to do. Morgan David came in to help out. They've kept Salamosi busy. She has been beaten twice. 2-0 Indian Hill. Now the Cougars trying to do something. That's Babick. Playing it out to Hadley. Nice move. Hadley centers. Broken up by the Braves. It's Morgan. Bryn Morgan triple teamed. Now Andrea Babick. She gets taken down and finally cleared out. Well, 11:20 to go in regulation here in the Division II championship tilt. Indian Hill, the #1 team in the state and unbeaten. 21-0-1.
And there's a foul as pressure just keeps me mounting here on the part of Lake Catholic. They just keep putting more pressure on these Braves, but there's a foul called, and so it's a little clip just at the end on the ankle of Ellie Potajo, excuse me.
Indian Hill content to play a little keep away right now. Possession soccer. Jackson gets pushed down.
That's going to be a good challenge. We'll see a set piece here as Jackson gets taken down.
That was Hadley, I believe, on the defense.
And Anna Potajo will be
There's the kick by DeHamel. Headed. Salamosi knocks it down, but now she is trying to scramble back to her feet. And she got some defensive help.
A great job defensively to stay organized. Druzina tries her patented spin move. Doesn't work that time. There's a break, but there's too many numbers in the back. We see 4 defenders, 5 defenders now. 1v5 usually doesn't convert to too much.
And Druzina got in the middle of all of them. And had the ball momentarily, but taken away. We're under 10 to go. Stay tuned. Coming up after the conclusion of the action, we'll have the presentation of the runner-up and championship trophies live and direct from the field. Margot David. Indian Hill with a throw-in. Well, you talk about a match that has just been almost a stalemate, John. You have the great goal by Potajo. You have the early goal by Jackson on the 50-50 ball where she was able to push it past a charging Salamosi. But beyond that, it's been pretty much a push.
It has, and you have to give credit to Lake Catholic because they just have not folded, and they just keep coming, and they're certainly putting some pressure on Indian Hill right now. And they've done it throughout the second half. This is not to mention, I mean, Salamosi's been big. There have been some good opportunities here for Indian Hill as well. Then they've been denied by her defensive side and the work that she's had to do to keep it at 2-0.
John, you're under 8 minutes to go now. State championship game. You're down a couple of goals. Is there anything left in the playbook that you pull out here that might be something that a coach would prepare for a game like this, or you just keep going with your regular attack?
Well, the one thing you can see right now is you can see how much higher Salamosi's playing. She's starting to step up higher, almost as that sweeper. So anything that's going to be long, she'll be able to pick up. She's not going to necessarily stay close to the box. We're going to see a stoppage here in probably a second as there's a player that's down from Indian Hill, but she does step right back up. So
it's Margot David who's down and seems to be moving okay now. And I'll tell you, John, this grass very thick, and it's obviously very well manicured, but on a day like today, 30 degrees, you hit the ground, it is a hard surface.
Well, the ball stayed in play right there, never came off the post. Now it's going to be a corner. Boy, that's the first time I've ever seen that. The ball went right to the post,
they just
stuck
landed
on
there.
the post and never moved.
Good defense. Indian Hill. They'll play this back. Only 6.5 minutes to go. That's the time standing between Indian Hill and their first state championship.
Now there's going to be a stoppage here. There's going to be a booking.
Now they'll get Riepel. Now it's Anna Potagil. We got
Riepel will have to step off, and you know you wanted.
Svelbar will come in. DeHamels will take the kick. We'll see it right here, John.
Both go to the ball and from behind, so it's going to be a booking.
.6:03 to go. They got Babick that time.
Brian Miller's been pretty active and had to be pretty active just to maintain control of this game.
Right now, Lake Catholic with a sense of urgency. They seem a little frustrated right now, John.
Yeah, I think right now when you start having those things happen, fall after fall after fall, it just shows a sign of frustration on your part. But here's a break for Lake Catholic. Can they make that run? Nope.
Boy, I just continue to be amazed at the numbers that the Braves are able to put back defensively in short order.
And they're quick in that transition, as you said. They don't hesitate. They understand the importance of getting back and getting behind the ball.
Indian Hill, member of the Cincinnati Hills League. Girls enrollment of 235. Amy Dunlap, 270 career wins. Her entire coaching career has been at Indian Hill High School. She mentioned earlier this week they try to play soccer the way it's meant to be played. She respects the game and demands to see her players play it the right way. And it has paid off. 21 wins. They are unbeaten, one tie. That was against Alter in the second to the last regular season game. Right now, 4 minutes away from claiming the state championship. They're trying to do it in shutout fashion.
Well, it's a credit to her and to her staff to be able to establish that kind of momentum, that kind of consistency. We're going to see a set piece here by Lake. Another good opportunity. You see a shot of Amy right there in the middle of your screen here as she's standing there trying to keep herself warm as well. Checking the time.
Her phone there, man. See if she has any messages. Here's the play. Yeah, take down there by B. Freeze. Drusina will trigger the play. And that did not line up properly for the Cougars.
Now you asked me for an announcement. I can make this announcement. on behalf of the 1,100 members of our association and our executive board. 2017-2018 Hall of Fame inductees this year for the OSSCA: George Hunter, Bob McGee from St. Francis de Sales, and Gahanna Lincoln, who've been in the state finals here before. Sam Assad from the Bay Boys soccer program, and John Unger, who has also won the state championship here with Madera High School. Congratulations to those gentlemen as they joined 76 other members of the association after 40 years of legacy. So there's your announcement. Okay, so
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame inductees. That'll happen in January, the first weekend in January, where all the Hall of Fame honorees, as well as the All-Ohio players, first and second team, coaches of the year, will be recognized.
Potagil for Jackson. And it'll be stopped by Salamosi.
By the range of Jackson, I mean, that was a great strike from about, I'm going to say, 30 yards out.
And it was picking up speed.
It certainly was, and a lot of times you'd say to a player, that's a little too ambitious, but in that case and hers, it wasn't. She understands her range and her ability to get a strike, and here's a good break for Lake.
Just high, and it might have been tipped out, and a corner coming up. Mars got her hand on it. Nicely done.
And that was a break. Another opportunity. Great job by Mars.
Keika Babic on the shot.
But a great job by Lake Catholic. And we'll see what they can set up here on this corner. And you can see more numbers being pushed into the box.
Selected in front. I'll try it again from the right side. There it goes. And again, Indian Hill there to knock it away.
And you can see Indian Hills just had everybody in the box there to defend. No forwards, no one in the attacking area. And probably if I were...
Ellie Potagil was the one who headed it away. John, we have less than a minute to go. And Indian Hill can sense the completion of an undefeated championship season. They're up 2-0. Lake Catholic wants to hurry, but Potagil with the takeaway and just serves it downfield.
And Amy Dunlap finally, up until that last 10 seconds, still coaching, still directing, still managing the team, and finally she senses it. I looked down here just a second ago, watched her hug one of the assistants. Comes over to the fans and...
Final 20 seconds. DeHamel with 10. They'll click off the final seconds here at Mopfre Stadium. And a long season's journey of soccer ends in a state championship for the Indian Hill Braves. 2-0 your final.
Congratulations and a great job here by Amy Dunlap, her staff, her girls that you see here together.
Kate Mars, their goalkeeper, was unscored upon. And their two prolific scorers, Morgan Jackson and Anna Potagil, each contributed a goal, and that was enough. 2-0. Indian Hill, the #1 team in the state. They're the last one standing in D2. Stay tuned. Our post-game show will follow in just a moment. We'll have live coverage of the trophy presentations from the field. That's when we come back to Columbus in just a moment. Welcome back to Mopfre Stadium and our continuing coverage of the girls OHSAA Soccer State Championships. It's the 33rd annual State Championship Day in this great sport. Indian Hill has triumphed in the Division II matchup with Lake Catholic. 2-0 the final. And so we will look in down on the field. The runner-up, Lake Catholic Cougars, finishing their season at 16-4-2 under first-year coach Chris Hastings. And we'll listen in as the players receive their medals, and the team in just a moment will receive the state runner-up trophy.
We recognize the mentor, Lake Catholic Cougars, as the Division II runner-up for 2017. As we introduce the individual players, they are asked to come forward as Athletic Director Sam Colacaro and Assistant Athletic Director Addie Tarasca present them with their individual award medals. After receiving your medal, please face your fans. Number 0, Julia Tussell. Number 1, Ella Hadley. Number 2, Anna Barbins. Number 4, Kennedy Repo. Number 5, Kennedy Newhart. Number 6, Lee Kothheimer. Number 7, Allie Morgan. Number 8, Bryn Morgan. Number 9, Keika Babick. Number 10, Emma Petro. Number 11, Karina Miljak. Number 12, Katie Drozina. Number 14, Grace Moore. Number 15, Carly Salentino. Number 18, Juliana Gurkic. Number 17, Colleen Geiger. Number 18, Julia Marusik. Number 19, Hannah Svelbar. Number 21, Kennedy Solamasi. Number 22, Gianna Salentino. Number 23, Andrea Babick. And number 42, Alyssa Anthony. The head coach for the Cougars, Chris Hastings. Assistant coach, Maria Ploples. Assistant coach, Adam Crowley. Assistant coach, Evesta Miljak. Now, ladies.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, to present the team award Jerry Snodgrass.
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, in this day of high school soccer in the state of Ohio, all 44 girls on the field today have worked since they've been young kids to get to this level. Please join me as I represent all of our member schools, congratulating every coach, every player on this field today for making it to this final level. Ladies, you have a proud tradition in your school for academics and athletics. This is your first trip to the Final Four and also the first trip to this championship game. That truly is an honor that you're going to remember the rest of your lives, as well as all of the young players in your system are going to want to step in your shoes. Seniors, and I'm assuming it's seniors in front of me right now, you have really set the mark high, and it's something that you and your leadership skills really have accomplished a goal. As a representative of our association, and certainly standing in front of you, representing all of our member schools and our board of directors and our commissioner, on behalf of every one of them, it's an honor to present you this runner-up trophy, one of the final two teams standing in Division II for 2017. Congratulations, Lake Catholic.
Thank you.
Congratulations, guys.
Well, there you see the Lake Catholic Cougars, the Division II state runner-up. Kati Drzina ending her great career. She will head on to the University of Notre Dame to continue playing soccer at the college level. The Cougars, a tremendous season in their first appearance, as Jerry Snodgrass said, in the Final Four, let alone the state championship matchup. Well, there you see an excited group of young ladies. We'll listen in as the Indian Hill Braves are called up one by one for their championship medals.
Asked to come forward as Jeff Zidron, athletic director, presents them with their individual awards. After receiving your medal, please face your fans. Number 1, Margot David. Number 2, Bryn Worthland. Number 3, Captain Maddie Chet. Number 0, Zoe Hindman. Number 5, Claire DeHamel. Number 6, Emily Morera. Number 7, Ashley Prue. Number 8, Maddie Miller. Number 9, Anna Peskovitz. Number 10, Captain Morgan Jackson. Number 11, Anna Padagil. Number 12, Kate Mars. Number 13, Faye Hardeck. Number 14, Reagan Wentz. Number 15, Ellie Rabinold. Number 17, Megan O'Brien. Number 18, Ellie Padagil. Number 19, Peyton Hoffman. Number 20, Lauren Fry. Number 21, Alyssa Castal. Number 22, Captain B. Freeze. And number 23, Anna Goki. The head coach of the Braves, Amy Dunlop. Assistant Coach Dave Lawson. Assistant Coach Monica Brown. Assistant Coach Chris Galbraith. Team Manager Cindy Lawson. And team trainers Elizabeth Morin and Terry Conti. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to present the team trophy, Mr. Jerry Snodgrass.
First, ladies, Coach Dunlap, where are you hiding at? You know, to get to this level, certainly an honor. But one thing, and I look at you and, you know, the number of years you've coached consistently in a system. I won't give the number. Sometimes, and that's so rare today, that we have coaches that last for that long of a time and dedicate the time that they do. Some people and some programs are truly deserving of this. With that, I stand in front of you and say, ladies, Coach Dunlap, you deserve this. It's an honor. And I'm proud to stand in front of you and represent every member school and present you this championship trophy for 2017. Congratulations.
Let's hear it for...
Well, Amy Dunlap has built a career at Indian Hill High School, devoting her career as an educator and a coach. 19 years as the head coach, and they collect the state championship trophy for the first time. She's been here 3 times. And as Jerry Snodgrass said, when you put in that kind of dedication over many years, many decades in some cases, it's a great payoff to finally be able to take home the championship, John.
Well, again, a credit to her, because you can see, and I think, you know, I've seen her at work before, and personally, and I think that's only right that she, as Jerry Snodgrass mentioned, that this is her shining moment with her program, because she certainly has put forth that effort, put forth the time and the years to bring this team to where it is today, and this program to where it is today. And obviously, not just today, but where it's been 3 different times. And to have it culminate today like it did, what a credit to them, what a credit to the program, and certainly on behalf of the OSSCA, our Coaches Association, we congratulate her and congratulate Lake Catholic on what they've accomplished this year as well.
Morgan Jackson moving on. She has finished her high school career as a state champ, but the Pottegill sisters will return.
And that's a great thing for, if you're Amy Dunlap, you know you've got a team that's going to come back, and everyone else has got to know they're going to come back bigger and better and stronger, faster. Other players will come in